So on Monday what we're going to be looking at is power. So the definition for power is the ability to contract muscles quickly with great strength. So when you think about power, always think about it as an equation. So power equals speed times strength. So if the performer needs a lot of speed and strength, it means that they need to have a lot of power in what they're doing to make sure that they're successful. So for example, in different sports, a sprinter needs to have good speed but also strength to power out the starting blocks to make sure that they do the drive phase, to make sure that they sprint the race as fast as they can. Or if you could think about it, to hit a ball with great power in golf, you've got to do it fast, but you've got to have a lot of strength to be able to hit that ball a far distance. And also even in racket sports, such as badminton, if you were wanting to do the smash shot, you've got to do it fast with a stroke, but you've also got to have a lot of strength by hitting it so you could hit it at the back of the court. So moving on to examples. So if you look at a high jumper would have to have a lot of power in their leg muscles, so their quadriceps and hamstrings, so they'll have to have a lot of speed during the run-up phase, but also have a lot of strength to make sure that they can use the strength in their muscles in their lower body, but even in their top half, to get over the bar, to make sure that they get enough of strength and speed over, so that obviously equals that they need a lot of power. So as I said before, a golfer will have to have a lot of strength in their upper body muscles, but also have a good drive phase, so making sure that it is very fast, to make sure that it drives far as possible, to make sure that they get the best performance and get it closest to the hole as possible. Moving on to badminton, like I said, the smash phase. If you're doing the smash shot in badminton, you are wanting to jump high, so you'll have to use some strength in your muscles, in your quadriceps and hamstrings, to jump up as far as possible, but also to smash the shot to the back of the court to make sure that your opponent doesn't get it. And also a footballer, so if they were trying to take a shot in football, obviously they'll be driving fast up to the ball, but the leg action and the swinging action, they'll be driving that leg through really quickly, but also have to have a lot of strength on the ball to make sure that they have a powerful shot, to make sure that the goalkeeper can't catch it. So suitable tests, there's two. There's the stand and long jump test and the vertical jump test. So the stand and long jump test, what you'd have to do, you conduct a suitable warm-up as per usual doing any test. Then you have to stand with your feet facing forwards and slightly apart to make sure that you're ready to start the test. The stand and long jump, you don't do a run-up. You use your arms and your legs to propel your body forward. So you would start at a starting point and you jump as far possible as forward, but make sure you do not fall backwards on the landing, because if you do fall backwards on the landing, that's where we would take your score from. So if you fall back in your arm is the closest to your starting point, that's where you would get your score from. So you always want to make sure that you land forward, not backwards. And you measure the distance in centimetres between the starting point and the first point of contact on landing. So vertical jump test, what you have to do is you stand side on to the wall and reach up with your hand closest to the wall. You need to make sure that you keep your feet on the ground, mark or measure the point of the wall where the top of your fingertips touch. So you'll be standing on the side, so this first image here, that is what you do. You reach up to see where your fingertips touch. That's your stand and reach. What you do then is put chalk on your fingertips and then stand away from the wall and jump vertically up, so straight up as high as possible, using both arms and legs to help you propel upwards. You need to make sure that you touch the wall at the highest point of your jump. Then you need to measure the distance in centimetres between your stand and reach, so when you had your fingertips to the top, and measure the distance between them, and that is you need to take the best of your 3 jumps to get your average score. So this is your normative data. So obviously when you do these on Monday, you will compare your scores to the normative data. So make sure you get these recorded in your home learning booklets. And the last one is your exam question. Can you make sure that you define power? So this is an AO1 question, because it's asking you to define. So remember, AO1 is just when you're identifying or defining, and then giving a sport an example, that is the assessment outcome 2. So you need to make sure that you define power and then give a sport an example what's suitable for power when they use it in their sport. Also, just a reminder, can you all make sure that on the Show My Homework there is attached link for a Google form. You need to make sure that you do that quiz, because that is a new quiz on speed and strength for me to assess how much you know about speed and strength from the last 2 weeks.